All right, we're back. Fuck you, YouTube. Guess we'll do it this way. We'll watch the highlights together later, Cody. I gotta remute these apparently. All right. Well, that's shitty. I know there's a way to turn the latency back down because I think it's at 30 seconds and I wish I could make it like 5 or 10 because I'm not gaming and I'm not worried about getting stream sniped. I see Bama took the lead. LSU's going back down the field. I guess I'll go back to that game. Gotta resend the links out, you know. Shut up. Not watching your ads. All right. I had to resend out the links since YouTube wanted to take me down for watching highlight videos. Surprised I'm not getting taken down for this. There's highlights. Wouldn't be surprised. I'm really curious. I wonder if I'd get taken down if I played an independent channel's highlights and not ESPN. Alright, that game's on commercial. Let's find another. Clemson's on the board. The model was, or not the model. I was right on that one. It looks like. I don't think Clemson doesn't have the offense to come back from 21 points in 7 minutes. They don't even have the ball. Rutgers is just making it worse. I'm sure YouTube doesn't care, but honestly, I might go to Rumble for that. That pisses me off. I wonder if Rumble has college football highlights. I can react to. LSU took the lead again. They didn't score a touchdown. I kicked a field goal. That's gonna hurt them. So if that game's back live, let's watch that. Oh, actually, no. Kansas State game's about to end. Let's watch the end of that. Sign in. That one. Oh, mute. "37 seconds. Guess I'll just live commentate this game. Martinez just got strip sacked. Oh, they moved it forward. Texas recovered. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be game on that one. 34-27. Texas is gonna come out with the win. Model was right on that one. Let's see what the model. What did the model have on that one? Texas and Kansas State. I don't know what the yardage was. It's gonna be 34-27. Got that game right. And we had the under. That's gonna be wrong. All right. All right, I guess we'll go to the Bama game. Texas and Kansas State. No, we want Alabama. Why is that game not like listed at the front on YouTube TV on home? Football. I still have to scroll to get to it. It's a top 10 matchup. Oh, touchdown Alabama. Literally just turned it on to a easy touchdown. He was wide open. Corey Brooks. 41-yard touchdown. If you or I or anybody has the arm strength to throw it, let's see how far do you throw this in the air. 5, Pause. Let's see. He throws it from the 45. Hits him at the 20. So if you have the arm strength to throw a ball 25 yards, you could have thrown that pass because it was wide open. Bryce Young, I will say Bryce Young, I think, is still too small to play in the NFL, but if he can, I don't know. He's one of the best I've ever seen at just extended plays and staying alive in the pocket and finding dudes open on broken plays. He's like Johnny Manziel with that, but he has obviously way more arm talent than Johnny Manziel. But the weird thing is he's not a runner. As good as he is at keeping plays alive, like, I don't know, it's so weird to me. That's what makes him so good, in my opinion. It's just how good he is at keeping plays alive. Talking a little bit of trash to the LSU sideline right there. Alright, well, this is the only game that's going to be a game, it looks like, to react to. Of course, commercial breaks can't be. Let me see something else real quick. James Madison's quarterback play, because I put in the model that he was. And since I'm not a betting man, I want to know. Because I might tweak the model. I care about accuracy in the model, not necessarily if I would have won. Because I wouldn't have bet this game if the quarterback's questionable and you don't know. Yeah, he is playing. 2 of 11. Yep, the model's just wrong. Good to know. Alright. Florida State's beating the absolute hell out of Miami. Are we surprised on that? How is South Carolina only a 6.5 point favorite over Vanderbilt? I know South Carolina's not great and they looked bad last week, but it's Vandy. I guess it's on the road. But how much of a home field advantage does Vandy have? It's Vandy. Alright, Bama's finally kicking off. That was like a 5-minute commercial break. Good lord. I know I've heard a few people go on a rant about that the commercial breaks and TV timeouts at the games are getting ridiculous. And when I was at the Notre Dame, Ohio State Notre Dame game this year, it didn't seem like it's that bad, but watching the games on TV, it sure seems like there's a lot more commercials than in the past couple years than normal. I guess they got to make up for that COVID year and all the revenue they missed, because it's, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it does seem like it's been really bad the past couple years as far as TV timeouts and breaks. Like they took what game was I watching earlier? They were reviewing something and it would have been an interesting review. It was kind of important to the game and they took a TV timeout during the review. Like, what is that? All right, LSU 2nd and 10 here from their 25. Handing it off, shocker. 5 yards in a cloud of dust. We're gonna get 3rd and 5 on that. Big run by JT Daniels. He's down to the Alabama 39. They're gonna spot him at the 39. Looked to me like he got 38, but what's 1 yard on a 40-yard play? Alabama vacated the middle of the field and he just took off right through the middle of it. LSU needs a touchdown here. That's going to be the problem for them, I think. They're down 4. Big play. Pass interference. Yep, there's a flag. So they played that from the 38. They're going to get the ball at the 23. 1st and 10 for LSU at the 23. Alabama's 23. 3 minutes and 12 to go. First and 10. 3:12 to go from the 24. Not the 23. They were at the 39, not 38. That's right. Run for about 4 yards by JT Daniels. This is going to be 2nd 7. They only gave him 3 yards, it looks like. It's the only interesting game on right now. Clemson might score and make it 35-14. Doesn't matter. 1:58 to go. What's that? 35-14 would still be 3 possessions. That game's pretty over. Which I was right on that game. At least personally, the model wasn't right. JT Daniels over the middle. That could have been PI too. I think he was there about on time though. So there's going to be 3rd and 7 for LSU. 2 minutes to go. 2 timeouts. I think you got to go for it. You don't kick a field goal here, do you? You really trust your defense to get a 3 and out. But I don't against Bryce Young. Bryce Young is going to extend a play and get a 1st down somehow. That's what he does. All right. Oh, I looked down for 2 seconds. They got a 1st down. 1st and goal from the 8 for LSU. JT Daniels looking to his left. He's throwing a fade. Touchdown LSU. 24-21. Bama's in trouble. Bama's corners are not good. That was not a pretty ball to the tight end. I guess it was inside the jump ball. Didn't have anybody to go up there with a tight end, but that was not a particularly pretty ball. Not a particularly pretty thrown ball. Let's see this again. And he held him. Yeah, there could have been a hold on that too. Good anticipation on the throw, but Alabama's corners are not good. If Alabama's pass rush doesn't get there, they're in trouble. Just not even in this game, just generally speaking. If Alabama's pass rush doesn't get there, their corners are not good. Poor old Rutgers. What happened in this game? I feel like they just haven't done anything since halftime. They probably have negative yardage since halftime or something. How many turnovers do they have? And they've turned it over probably 3 times since halftime. That's what happened. Let's just go to scores. There we go. Alright, this game's still at commercial. What else we got? Notre Dame's about to finish it off. 35-14. Who has the ball in this? Clemson extra point good. Oh, Clemson's about to try the onside kick. We'll watch that real quick. What did I put on this game? Big Ten, Clemson versus Notre Dame. Prediction. $27-24. Damn. For some reason I thought I flipped it exactly what the model had. But no, I didn't think Notre Dame had that much offense. So Clemson's defense is confirmed fraudulent. Because Notre Dame's offense isn't good at all. They're going to try the old 2-kicker onside kick here, it looks like. Nope, just one. Get the high bounce. That game's over. Notre Dame got the onside kick. They got the bounce. Coverage team just didn't even try to get there. Or Notre Dame made the blocks, I guess. But I'd have to see the replay on that. Louisville scored again. What happened to James Madison? I know their quarterback got hurt, but I guess he's probably playing hurt still. I don't know exactly what happened to him as far as the injury goes. I think it was his knee. But they were genuinely one of the better top 15, 20 teams in the country. First 5, 6 games of the year. They beat the brakes off some good teams. And then just downhill since. Oh, Rutgers must have turned the ball over again, or they punted maybe. Because I see Michigan has the ball in this little preview. Alright, back to the Bama game. Bama's out to the 40. Got a little sidetracked there. Minute and a half to go. They still got 2 timeouts. Bryce Young's got to throw it away on 1st and 10. Minute and 26 to go. 2nd and 10. Still 2 timeouts. Alright, 3rd down. Sorry, I looked at something for 2 seconds. They got 2 yards. 3rd and 8. Minute and 7. Clock's ticking. Bryce takes the snap. Going over the middle. 1st down. Out of bounds. 59 seconds to go. That was somewhere around the 45. I should have paid attention to that. LSU 43. Alabama only needs a field goal, so they're right around field goal range. They need to get to the 35 according to this graphic. I think a little further than that, more like 32-3. Kicker missed a long one against Tennessee. So I'd like to get them somewhere around a 50-yarder at least, which would be the 32 or 3. Bryce Young overthrew him. He had him open. 2nd and 10 from the 43. 54 seconds to go. Alabama still has the 2 timeouts. Caught over to the left sideline, down to the 28. They're going to mark him at. Clock stops for 1st down, 48 seconds to go. They're not going to clock this. They still got 2 timeouts. LSU's playing super soft coverage. I wouldn't do that. Bryce Young throws away on 1st down. So 2nd and 10, 37 seconds to go. Alabama is in field goal range now. Pretty safely. Be what, they're at the 27, 28, so it'd be like a 45, 46 yarder. Running the play clock down. Takes a snap. Alabama burned one of the timeouts. Going to the end zone. Overthrew him. Bryce Young's got a lot of overthrows. I don't know if the wind's a factor in this game. It's been a factor everywhere else. Let's see if I can see the top of the goalpost here. Nope. I can't see any flags to know if the wind's a thing. But Bryce Young's overthrown his last 2 or 3 balls. It was open. Alright, 31 seconds to go, 3rd and 10. Oh, Brooks dropped it again. Had him at the 8 or 9 yard line. Had it in his hands and dropped it. He ain't happy with himself. All right, Alabama's gonna kick the field goal here to try to tie the game up, put it in overtime. All right, here comes the field goal. Looks like it's right down the middle. All right, we got overtime in Baton Rouge. All right, what other games are worth checking? Let's go all. 77 to 56. Holy hell. There's still 5 minutes left to go. Let's find that game. That's entertaining. NFL Network. Houston SMU. Houston's about to score a Holy House. 77 to 62 with 3:37 to go. Why are you making me sign in again? Stop. You. All right. Why are we not live? There we go. Oh, of course it's not. UCLA Arizona State kicking off. Florida State 38 to 3 over Miami. They're waving bye-bye to the fans. Gotta love those. Alright, back to the Bama game. See if LSU can get a long play here and set up a field goal in regulation. I think they still have 2 timeouts too, so it's possible. Alright, we got commercials on every game. Notre Dame stormed the field, shocker. Shocker on that one. Wake Forest trying to put a comeback together here. I guess that's probably the game to watch right now. Till LSU Bama comes back. There's no two games to flip through at least. LSU and Bama have been at commercial break for 5 minutes again. Like, all right, we got the. I missed the last 20 seconds. I guess we got a coin toss for overtime now. Got nobody in here. I'm gonna go eat some food, boys. I will be right back. Give me about 10 minutes. I see you, buddy. we're back. LSU gets bailed out, or not LSU. Bama got bailed out by a bullshit call. LSU totally tipped that ball. Or LSU would have just won the game in regular and overtime, but we're going for the 2-point conversion here. I think that's a dumb call. I would kick the extra point, but here we go. Trotting out on the field. 2-point conversion to win the game. Knock Bama out of the playoff picture. And go to the SEC championship, actually. There it is. LSU wins. Oh my. No Bama in the playoff this year. Go Tigers. Wow. Wow. Well, I guess Bama's gonna slide in the model a little bit. Ohio State's gonna stay ahead of Bama. Georgia's gonna be number 1 in the model for sure. Then Ohio State, then Bama. I don't know where Tennessee is gonna fall to. I guess we could start putting some stats in the model, but probably do that tomorrow. Our phone's blowing up on the Bama upset. Love that one. All right, what else we got? We got any other games worth? Just watch the end of the NC State game. Then I'll probably wrap it up. Give my thoughts on a few games because I haven't talked much about all the games that happened today. Get my thoughts on a few games. Look at the model a little bit, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. But I do want to see what happens in this one because Wake Forest is one of those teams that I don't know. The model doesn't know what to do with after last week. They're wearing a Russell Wilson patch. LOL. They deserve to lose. Come on, NC State. I had to pet the dog a little bit. I do like Wake Forest helmets. Those are clean. I might have to do that on the stream sometime. We'll do like a helmet ranking. I don't know about. I might make a video of that. That'd be like a fucking long video, probably half hour to rank all the helmets. Even just if I literally spent 10 seconds on each helmet, which that's hard to do. I'd probably do more than that, obviously. But 10 seconds on each helmet would be what? 1,300 seconds. It's 1,300 divided by 60. That alone's a 21-minute video. Probably more like 30 seconds. So yeah, probably an hour video to rank all the helmets. Still might have to do that. Might do it in sections. Four parts. What's 131 divided by 4? That doesn't divide evenly, but 30 a video. Stay tuned on that. I might have to do that. NC State's got second and goal here. They might put the game away. Cal's up on USC early. That's interesting. Did Bowling Green play today? I'm curious. Give me a second here. I think they did. Look at that, Professor Ketty, if you ever watch this. Bowling Green won again. 13-9 over Western Michigan. I don't know if the model had them or not. I think it did. Bowling Green has to win one of 3 games, which I think they can win. I don't think they'll beat Toledo. I think Toledo's pretty good. At least relative to the MAC. I think they could beat Kent State, and they can definitely beat Ohio. And then Bowling Green will go to a bowl game, so maybe they aren't bad at football. Relatively speaking. They're bad in the grand scheme of things, but... that was just for my professor that stalks my YouTube channel, because I know he watches it for my my grading purposes. But I don't think he's subbed yet. So go ahead and sub, Professor Ketty. I'd appreciate that. Alright, what do we got going on? Wake Forest 4th and goal, or NC State 4th and goal. They're going to kick the field goal, I'd assume. Make it 9. This makes it 2 possessions. That makes that game pretty much over. NC State. South Carolina's up big on Vandy. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, Auburn and Mississippi State looks like it's coming down. Auburn 2-point rush. All right, so Auburn converted to a field goal. Let's watch the end of that game here before I wrap it up. Colorado up on San Jose State. I don't like that. I want San Jose State to go 10-2 and end up ranked, especially with what happened to them. If you didn't know, they had a player die a couple weeks ago. That's why their game got postponed. Sorry, got a cough. thing I have a button for that. I need to put that game on. Alright, so Mississippi State's got 2 timeouts, 56 seconds, so plenty of time. Mississippi State is actually not a very good offense, which I think is really interesting. 38 of 53 for 338 yards. They hit a bunch of Mike Leach offense. You'd think they air it out, hit you over the top, and they do air it out. It is an air raid offense, but it's a bunch of hitches and quick underneath stuff. They don't. Their yards per pass is really not what you would expect. I'll look at it real quick if you want, but might as well look at it since I'm talking about it. Quick out, first down to the 40. They only need a field goal, so they only need 10 more yards. Let's look at Mississippi State real quick. 6.6 yards per pass attempt. Probably not what you expect out of a Mike Leach offense. You'd probably expect that to be a lot higher. That's very mediocre. Let's just click on a random team comparatively. Yeah. 8 for Maryland. Michigan's at 8. Minnesota's at 7. So there's just a couple of random teams for comparison for you. None of those are really great passing teams. Let's look at a good passing team, for example. Look at Ohio State. And they had a terrible passing day, so their numbers came way down. Ohio State's at 9 yards per pass, 9.5. So yeah, 6 is a very, very average number. Maybe even bad, average to bad. All right, Mississippi State's in field goal range, so we might have another overtime game. Do we know? I don't know who the interim head coach is for Auburn right now. I don't follow Auburn close enough. Alright, 3rd and 9. 38 seconds. They burnt one of their timeouts. They're going to save the other one for the field goal, I'm assuming. Oh, they almost threw a pick there. Auburn DB slipped. Alright, so Mississippi State's got the field goal coming up. Tied it up at 33 and probably going to be overtime game. NC State put another field goal on, so that game's over. 33-21. Interesting. They missed the field goal? Yep, Mississippi State missed the field goal, so not an overtime game. We got another upset. Oh, no. No, they iced the kicker. Figured they would go to a commercial. So I just looked over here for a second. Alright, so here comes the field goal attempt for real. Unless they ice him again. I don't know who this guy is, but he's an energetic interim head coach. If I can say the word. Look that up in a second. 44-yard field goal attempt. He might ice him again. He's standing right next to the official. They just cut to him.
Hey, Bug. I wish I was with you.
Alright, here it comes. No ice. What's up? Snuck. Oh! Off the upright. Snuck it in. Oh, nope, they did ice him again. Whew. This guy definitely believes in icing the kicker. Alright, so they're not going to go for... They burnt both their timeouts, so they're not going to try to... They're going to play for overtime if... They're not going to try to kick their own field goal, if I can say what I'm thinking. Auburn's playing for overtime. Oof, he literally just barely dinked. It wasn't really off the upright. He like barely tapped it. Like just barely clipped the upright and went through. And it looked like it was already through. And then like back tip of the ball as it was flying through the air, tipped the upright or clipped the upright. All right, here comes the real kick. They don't have any more timeouts left to ice it. What's up? Literally the same kick, except he snuck it through by about a foot this time. So we got overtime again. Mississippi State and Auburn. Alright, I'm assuming Auburn's not going to go for...
Each year at the Home Depot, we get so ecstatic. We pull out the tools to make holiday magic. All through November, we have Black Friday savings.
They don't have any timeouts to try and play for a field goal of their own. Auburn only has 75 passing yards on the game too, so yeah, I don't like their chances. It would be nice if ESPN would quit spamming me with unmuting this. Mississippi State had an injury on the kickoff. Oh, Mississippi State recovered. They kicked it off an Auburn player and recovered it. Okay. So Mississippi State's got a chance to win the game here. They only got to go about 20, 30 yards. They still have a timeout left. Didn't see that one coming. Mike Leach pulling out the tricks here. Takes off. Oh my god, he's already in field goal range. He's gonna slide. They're gonna run a play. They're gonna clock it. 20 seconds. They still have a timeout. So they're gonna run another couple play, maybe two. At least one more play for yardage. Don't take the sack. Check it down. Got about 3 yards, 4 yards. Got tackled inbounds. They're going to take their timeout and kick the field goal. 9 seconds. Mike Leach is asking for more time because the ref was blind and wouldn't give him the timeout. That was kind of funny. It's like dancing in front of him trying to get the timeout called. I think they're going to try and run one more play. That's ballsy. Obviously going to go to the sideline. I wouldn't do that because Mike Leach is going to throw the ball. I guess just throw it away if first read isn't there. Mike Leach just talked to the quarterback like they're going to run another play here. I'll start. And that's why you don't do that. Now they're back out of field goal range. What the hell happened here? That was the worst. Oh my god. So the center tried to snap the ball and he like dug it into the ground instead of snapping it backwards, and then like I guess it wasn't really a false start, a legal procedure. Either one, same thing. Throw it away. Alright, it's gonna be a career long for this kicker. It's gonna be 50 yards, 51 yards. Try to win the game in regulation. $56. Oh, that's a bomb. Here we go. What's up? It's gonna sneak in the upright. Has it got the distance? Nope, didn't have the distance. Landed in the middle of the end zone. So that kicker's good for about 49. Alright, so we got overtime in the Auburn Mississippi State game. Auburn interim head coach is pumped up about it. Alright, who is... Kane Cadillac Williams. Carnell Williams. Can Cadillac Williams. So Cadillac Williams, Carnell Williams is his real name. Cadillac Williams is what somebody else is calling him. We're gonna call him Cadillac. I like him. He's trying to coach like he's in for the job. Hey buddy, you ain't in for the job. I hate to tell you, but does ESPN have a dark mode? Because my camera looks so much better that way. I'm not bled out. I can. I'm good on that. I don't want no virus. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna cover all the end of overtime in this one, to be honest. Let's go ahead and talk about a few other games. So look at the top 25. Let's talk about Ohio State, talk about the Georgia game, talk about the Bama game. We'll see what that did in the model a little bit, and then I'll probably wrap it up. But alright, we'll start with the Ohio State game. So Ohio State actually got outgained by Northwestern. Here, I'll put this over here so I can. Here, we'll put. Let me do it this way. I'll pull the model back up in a minute. We'll put just a regular Gamecast here with all the scores, and I'll put the Ohio State game over here so I can talk to the camera. Alright, so Ohio State actually got outgained by Northwestern, which I thought was interesting. But Ohio State was a little bit better on the ground. Their yards per play statistics were better. Actually, here, I'll pull up the model for that game. We're on Ohio State. Ohio State finished with 4.6 yards per play, which is pretty bad. 13.4 yards per play, which is pretty efficient considering how bad the offense was today. They outgained Northwestern per play fairly significantly over a yard per play, or right around a yard per play, 4.6 compared to 3.7. Northwestern's offensive efficiency was terrible, so the Ohio State defense was pretty good there. Not really much more to say about that. There's a big weather game. I don't know if anybody saw the clip where Ohio State and their kicker in the pregame warmups was kicking into the wind, and the ball literally was flying towards the upright, and the ball literally got stopped and then blown backwards. I've literally never seen that on a kick attempt before, where the ball literally got blown backwards. I've seen it die and stop, but yeah, the ball got blown backwards 5 yards on a 35-yard kick attempt into the wind and warmups. So definitely weather affected that game. CJ Stroud missed on a couple deep balls when Ohio State gave up. Both teams kind of gave up trying to throw the ball into the wind when they were driving into the wind. They did try to throw it a few times when they had the winds at their back, and CJ Stroud overthrew quite a few balls. I think this game is going to hurt him in a Heisman a little bit, but I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad because Hendon Hooker also played pretty bad. What it is going to do this week for those two, when we'll get to Hendon Hooker in the Georgia game here in a second. What that is going to do, I think, sorry, I had to clear my throat. What that is going to do is, I think that's going to make the Heisman race as a whole a lot muddier. I think those two, up until this point, CJ Stroud and Hendon Hooker, that is, were kind of running away with the Heisman, or separating themselves from the field, and now I think the field's going to catch back up a little bit. I would probably still put them as 1-2. CJ Stroud at 1 probably still, and Hendon Hooker probably still at 2 in the Heisman race, but like I said, I think it gets a lot closer. So that's my general thoughts on that game. We'll go ahead and move to the Georgia game here. Move it back over. And I have not, actually I have put the Georgia game in the model, so we'll look at it a little deeper here in a second too. So let's go ahead and look at Georgia. I guess it would have been easier to go to Tennessee, but we'll go to Georgia, because Georgia, I think I've mentioned this earlier in the stream, but Georgia is definitely the new #1 in the model by about a half a point over Ohio State, who's going to be #2. They're going to flip. I think Georgia was #2 and Ohio State was 1 for the past couple weeks. But Georgia in the Tennessee game, 27-13, Georgia had 387 yards to Tennessee's 289. They both outrushed and outpassed Tennessee. Tennessee only had 2.2 yards per carry, and when I talked about that in the preview, I said Tennessee has to be able to run the ball to be able to set up those one-on-ones, and they weren't able to do that really. Let's look at the box score for this. Pull this back over here. Box score. What was their longest play? Yeah, their longest play was 28 yards. They had a couple of those deep shots and they just missed on them. Move this here. We'll just make it small and move it over here so we can see all the stats. So what do I have on the projections on this game, and that was right around what I had actually. Tennessee got 2.4 yards per carry, and I had them at 2.4. They got 2.2. They weren't as efficient. The model had them being efficient with the pass, but they weren't. It doesn't take into account the way the projections work. I don't know how to explain it. The way the projections work is it's looking at your yard per play stat. It's not a super complex model, if I'm being honest. It's not complex enough as I'd like it to be, but it's looking at your yards per play stat and then the defense you're playing. So let me try to explain this a little better. It's looking at your yards per rush stat and what the defense allows on average yards per rush stat, and then it's looking at your pass stat and what the defense you're playing is allowed pass per play stat. And what it doesn't take into account is that Tennessee needed to be able to run the ball to be able to have that pass statistic, and that's what happened in this game, in my opinion. Tennessee's lack of being able to run the ball, like I said, Georgia didn't have to commit as many resources to being able to stop that run, and therefore they were able to set up have safeties over the top of Tennessee's receivers and not let them get wide open, not get one-on-ones on corners and throw 60-yard touchdowns over the top of them. So matchup wise, Georgia won the matchup, and therefore they won the game pretty handily. Tennessee wasn't able to exploit the matchups they needed to, and Georgia was. And I think I said that in my preview, that if that happened, then I like Georgia to win that game pretty handily. And that's what happened. We'll go ahead and talk about a couple of the upsets, because those are worth talking about. What the hell just happened to my ESPN tab? There we go. We'll talk about the Alabama game, and we'll talk about the Clemson game, and then I'm probably going to wrap it up. So I don't have them in the stat or in the model, so I'll go ahead and put this over here. Scores. Here. Sorry. I'm being computer illiterate. We'll put up the scoreboard here for you on the screen. And then I'm gonna pull Of course, I have scoreboard on both. I'm gonna pull the Alabama game over to the camera. I'm not gonna get into the model on this game because I don't have the stats pulled up, but we'll go ahead and talk about it generally. And I'll see what happened in this game because I didn't get to watch this whole game. I would pull up the highlights, but I can't. Apparently, I can't do that. So Alabama outgained LSU by 100 yards or 98 yards. Sorry, got a cough. Alright, sorry. Alabama had 465 total yards to LSU's 367, 328 passing to LSU's 182. LSU was able to run the ball for 5 yards per carry. That's what happened in this game. And if LSU is able to run the ball and keep the sticks moving, they've never been a passing offense ever since I've been alive, other than the Joe Burrow years. Total plays was 32, 34, 66 to 81. 81 plays in favor of Bama to 66 for LSU. That's usually favors Alabama, especially considering they had 100 more yards. I don't see their total yards per play, but I think Alabama beat them on total yards per play. Every stat here in the box score leans Bama, but LSU on the scoreboard. JT Daniels had a hell of a game. I think he's right there in the Heisman race now too. Let's look at his overall stats. And I did not move this over here for you, sorry. Let's look at JT Daniels' overall stats here. JT Daniels, why do I not have his ranking? I don't want to see this ad. Or Jaden Daniels. Why did I say JT Daniels? Jaden Daniels. Who the hell's JT Daniels? Who did he play for? Why is that name in my head? Stats. Jaden Daniels has 1,812 yards, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's only thrown 1 pick on the year, tied for second. His stats aren't as good as I thought they were. That's passing though. He's also got, let's see, overview. How many rushing yards does he have on the season? Rushing. He had 18 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown against Alabama with a 31-yard long. Yeah, I think he's right there in the Heisman stats. I don't think, like I said it in my preview, I don't think he can win the Heisman by any stretch of the imagination. I still think CJ and Hendon Hooker are quite a bit ahead of him, but he's making a name for himself. LSU's right in the driver's seat in the SEC West now. What do they have on their schedule left? Let's look at that. LSU. Arkansas, at Arkansas, that is a tough game. They have UAB, that's a win, and Arkansas State, Texas A&M, which should be a win, as bad as they're playing. I think Texas A&M's probably going to start to self destruct. There's the word I'm looking for. Why can I not? My brain's just gone, I guess, at this point. But yeah, I think Texas A&M's going to self-destruct at this point with the 6 losses, 3-6. The attitude on that team can't be positive. But looking at LSU's schedule here, let's look at the standings. Standings in the SEC. I do believe they have a game to lose now, right? Because they only have 1 conference loss. And Bama has 2. And then, yeah. Southeastern Conference. So it's them and Ole Miss. That'll be an interesting shakeout. They already beat Ole Miss. So yeah, LSU could lose to A&M theoretically, especially if Bama beats Ole Miss. So LSU's in the driver's seat for the SEC. It's going to be LSU and Georgia in the SEC championship, most likely. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead and talk about one more game. Let's go ahead and get Clemson up here. And then I'm probably going to sign off for the night. Clemson and Notre Dame. What happened in this game? Clemson got outgained by Notre Dame 348 to 281. I heard the announcers were putting it on DJ a lot. He didn't play good. 27 of 39 for 191, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It's about what you expect out of DJ. I think it's not really on DJ, to be honest with you. I think it's more on the scheme. I don't think Clemson's offensive scheme is great. Drew Pine Drew Pine got it done with 9 of 17 for 85 yards and a touchdown. 85 yards passing, got it done. Got a 3 possession win over the Clemson Tigers. And like I said in my video, Clemson just had, or my preview video, Clemson just hasn't impressed me all season. Notre Dame, I did say this in my preview, if that Notre Dame was able to run the ball, I'd like their chances big time in this game. And they ran the ball for 263, 5.6 a carry. So that held true. That's all they needed. Like I said, they only had 85 yards out of their quarterback, and that's good enough for a 3 possession win over Clemson. In my opinion, I think the model is going to keep Clemson fairly high, but in my opinion, Clemson shouldn't even be in the top 10, or should drop right around 10, in my opinion. LSU, and I hate to put a 2-loss team over a 1-loss team, but LSU should be over Clemson in my opinion too. And I don't want to give an SEC team any more props than the media is already going to, but LSU should jump Clemson even. Wherever they move LSU to, they should move Clemson right behind them. That'd be the way that I'd do it. If there's not any other games to talk about here, which I'm not really seeing. Texas. Everybody knows my thoughts on Texas. The model's still really high on Texas. I think Texas is a good team. That's just they lose games that they shouldn't. Texas Texas is still in the top 10 in my model, and they're probably going to move up after the win over Kansas State. But they just find ways to lose games that they shouldn't. They should be right there in the playoff hunt, honestly. I think Texas would have been in the playoff hunt with 2 losses, but then they went and choked against Oklahoma State, and now they're out of it. Because if you had Texas, I've said it in several of my videos, but if you had 2 lost Texas with a loss to Alabama and then just 1 bad loss to Texas Tech with Quinn Ewers out, then there's a solid argument, especially the way things are going to shake out now. There would be a solid argument for Texas to be in there, especially if they won out in the Big 12. But then they took that loss to Oklahoma State and knocked themselves out of it. But I do think Texas is still a really good team. The model's really high in them. And then just to back that up, Vegas backed that up. Texas was favored in this game. So Texas is just going to be... Texas is favored on a neutral field over all the teams ranked below them. That's just the way it is, at least in my power rankings. That's simply the way it is. Do I necessarily mean I would pick them over all the teams ranked below them? It depends on the matchup, but they would be favored on a neutral field. We'll put it that way. But I think that's all the games I really wanted to cover. Illinois got knocked off. I did think that was really surprising, especially with all the players suspended for Michigan State. I guess they just wanted to prove a point after what happened last week. Michigan State is playing a lot better. What do they have to close the season? Rutgers 5. Michigan State might make a bowl game still. I think they can beat Rutgers and Indiana and finish out at 6-6. They'll probably lose to Penn State. But I think that's all the games super worth covering. Watch out for my rankings video. I'll be putting that out. I'm going to try and get my preview videos out earlier in the week so you guys have more time to watch them before the games start this week. So watch out for those. But I think that's going to do it for the stream. I appreciate anyone that did stop in. Didn't do too well tonight, but didn't expect to as first stream. We will be doing this every week for the rest of the week, or for the rest of the year though, so tune in anytime you want. Thanks for stopping by. If you watch this afterwards, I appreciate it, but thanks for watching. That's it from you guys. Peace.